yourself organised, if you've got yourself comfortable, then we shall begin. We're going to be sitting in a comfortable place, so you're wanting your back to be somewhere near tall and straight. So you might be kneeling, you might be cross-legged, you might just have your legs out in front. If you need, you can be on a chair or sitting against the wall. So let yourself find a way that you can be comfortable with the back somewhere near tall and straight. And then we're going to land down with our eyes closed. Maybe the backs of the hands come down and the palms of the hands face up, allowing ourselves to just welcome some energy in from above, allowing ourselves to be open to explore and experience. Your eyes closing down. Just noticing what it feels like to sit and land in your own personal sacred space this morning. Noticing the noises you can hear around you, maybe outside the building, maybe inside the building, maybe in adjacent rooms or maybe in the same room. And then allow yourself to just bring that attention to the noises and the sensations within yourself. Noticing your breath as it moves. Noticing if there's any niggles or tension in the body. And bringing your attention to your breath, I'm going to allow the breath to move and expand. So just breathing a little deeper, breathing a little broader. I want you to imagine that you have the breath moving from a sphere somewhere around the solar plexus, somewhere sort of in the center of the torso. And every time you breathe in, that sphere expands and broadens. The bright yellow sunshine expanding out. Each exhale, just soften into the space that you've broadened into. Breathing in comfortably and deeply. Exhaling steadily and slowly without any tension. Finding your breaths in your own rhythm. Breathing broadly, exhaling slowly. Keeping the attention, the focus on that spherical point right in the middle of the solar plexus, expanding from there. I'll do a few more rounds of breath, nice and broad. Feeling confident with the space that you take up with each breath. And feeling proud of the space that you take up with each breath. You might have set a rhythm that you can keep to. If not, come to a rhythm that you can keep to with your breath. Bring the fingertips either side. Shift your position if you need to. And we're going to bring the right hand high. Inhaling, stretch the fingers away. And as you exhale, coming over to the side, into a side bend, reach through the fingers. Lifting up, inhale, bringing the left hand high. Again, stretch through the fingers as you exhale over to the side. Lifting it back up. Inhale, reaching the right fingers as though you've breathed in, made a huge bubble around yourself, and your fingers are reaching to the extreme extremities of that bubble. Left hand as you inhale. And exhaling over to the side. Good. Both hands high as you inhale, reach through the fingers. And then as you exhale, leaning forwards, bring the fingertips down onto the floor in front of you. If you can, maybe walk those fingers forwards as you breathe. And then walking through the right hand, so the right fingers reach further forwards. And then as you exhale, just soften that effort. Next, inhale, left fingers reach away.
And as you exhale, soften the effort. Doing that a couple more times. Let your face relax, let your jaws relax. Just seeing if you can take up a little bit more space with each breath. And then as you're ready, bringing yourself back upright. If you like, you might cross your legs the other way. And then we're bringing those hands high. Reach them out to the sides. Inhale, lifting out. Expand through the fingers. And then twisting as you exhale, looking over the back shoulder. Lifting back up, hands out to the side as you inhale and reach up. And then twisting the other way as you exhale. Good. And same again. Inhale, hands reach up. Really expand the space that you take up. Exhaling, twist. And again, inhale, expanding out. And then into your twist as you exhale. Good. We're going to lift the hands high here. Inhale, reaching the fingers, and then we're going to fold forwards again as you exhale. And again, just walking those fingers forwards. Be gentle here, so if there's any niggles in the hips, be soft. And again, just walking one hand further forwards as you inhale, exhaling to soften and relax. If Ujjayi breathing is in your practice, then find your Ujjayi breath. Keeping that breath active. Keeping it a very significant part of your practice. Each breath, breathing into the space, being proud of the space that you take up. And then as you're ready, we're gently bringing our body upright. Reach the hands up over the head again, and this time just circle the wrists around. Just getting some mobility into those wrists. Let the shoulders lift to the ears as well. Really get the hands nice and high, and then circle the other way. Good. Lots of movement there. That's it. And then bring the arms down. Give them a shake out. Good. So from here, you're going to come onto your hands and knees, and from there, organise yourself straight up into your downward dog. So if you need to shift blocks or anything out of the way, then do so. As you find your downward facing dog, you're just going to walk it out, bending into one knee, straightening the other. So you're just getting a nice soft mobility into the backs of the legs, noticing how your body's feeling today. So walking it through. Good. And then pausing in your down dog. As you pause in your down dog, base of the first finger, connecting down into the ground. Sit bones lifting nice and high. The knees might be a bit bent here, that's absolutely fine, but keep that lift of the sit bones, keep the reach of the heels. Good. As you pause here, breathing into the sides of the ribs, feel the palms spread, feel the fingers spread. Take up more space on the mat with the hands and with the balls of the feet. Feel the heels reach to the back of the mat, and if the heels do not meet the mat, just imagine an energetic extension that's reaching towards the back of the mat from your heels. Good, and then from here, we'll walk the hands to the back of the mat, nice and slow, really testing the weight into one hand and then the other, walking it all the way back in. And as you bring your hands down in front of your feet, from here let the head drop down, knees can be bent if you like. And then you're going to bring your hands behind your shins. So you're letting the palms face inwards, hands and arms as low down as you can. So you're really trying to hug the front body onto the thighs here. Let the head drop in, a little nod or a little shake of the head. Good, and then keeping the palms of the hands on the back of the shins or the ankles. If there's not much space here, you might have the hands on the back of the shins. And with an inhale, we're coming into a halfway lift, so you're aiming to lift the gaze towards the front of the mat, holding onto the back of the shins. If you can, you're doing this with those arms back down onto the legs. And then exhale, bend the knees, let the chin drop in. And again, inhale, lengthening out, aiming to take that gaze towards the front of the mat. And then exhale, bending it back down. Good, a couple more times. Inhale, lifting the gaze forwards. Exhale, folding down, chin into chest. One more time here, wherever you can. Inhale, lifting that gaze forwards, draw the belly in. And then exhale, folding it down. there, just curling up through the spine. You might walk the hands up the legs. Good. And then we're going to bring the arms out to the side. Inhale, stretch the fingers, reach the fingertips high. And then reach the hands out to the side as you exhale, folding down over the legs. Halfway lift here. Inhale, lifting the gaze, come onto the fingertips. And then exhale, bending down, curling into a little ball, bending and dropping down. Lifting up again, hands out to the side. Inhale, reaching up, take up more space. And then reach the arms out, exhale, folding all the way down. Halfway lift here. Inhale, maybe come onto the fingertips, lift the weight forwards. And then exhale, bending down like you're trying to curl yourself into a tiny ball. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reaching out. Obviously, if there's furniture, if there's things in the way, then just reach around. Reach around whatever's, wherever you can, and take up the space wherever you can. Halfway lift here. Inhale to lengthen out. And then folding down into a tiny little ball, curling yourself down. Good. And then from here, we're going to heel toe the feet apart so that your feet come about as wide as the mat. We're going to drop down towards a malasana. Just take a little rock side to side in your malasana. Heels off the floor if you need, hands down if you need. Try not to let those toes pop out to the sides as we rock a little side to side. Good. And then we are going to find ourselves moving to the front of the mat in our malasana. You might use your hands to help. You might have the palms of the hands together. I'm just going to walk our way all the way to the front of the mat. Good. And then as you get to the front of the mat, bring the hands down, bring your feet together. And then from there, curling through the spine, just lifting yourself all the way up. And we'll find our Tadasana at the top of the mat. So big toes together, heels slightly apart. Or have a bit of distance between the feet if you need. And then from there, we're going to have our arms reaching down by our sides. Good. And let your eyes close down. Lift your toes off the floor and spread them out. Take up more space as you reach them back down onto the floor. Feel the big toe and the little toe and every toe in between connecting down. Feel the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the ball of the foot in between connecting down. Keep those connections as you gently shift the weight slightly back. Feel the instep want to lift and feel the kneecaps want to lift. Feel the glutes gently engage, brace comfortably through the front of the body, open the front of the shoulders and feel the sides of the neck soft and long. Fingertips grow down, active through the hands and through the fingers. Good, finding your breath here, we'll breathe in together. And then exhale. And then bring the hands over the head. Inhale, lifting the gaze high. Reaching it out. Exhale, swan dive all the way down to the mat. Halfway lift here. Inhale, lengthen arms back, maybe legs. Step your left foot far back as you exhale. Plant your hands down. Inhale, strong plank here. And then melting down, exhale, halfway down. Elbows stay close in. And then lower the knees, the hips, the belly. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders. And then exhale to lower, tuck the toes, push through the front body to lift into your down dog, inhaling them. Good, and exhale. Keep your breath steady here, inhaling. Really spread out into the ground as you breathe. Feel the sit bones lifting high. Good, and the next time that you exhale, let your knees soften. From there, step, walk or jump to the front of the mat, inhaling a halfway lift. From there, folding over the legs as you exhale, soften the knees as much as you need. Coming all the way up to stand, inhale, bring the hands high over the head, lift the gaze. And then thumbs to the chest as you exhale. Lifting up again. Inhale, hands reach out. Use the fingertips to reach further. And then folding down, exhale, hands all the way to the mat. Soften the knees as much as you need. Halfway lift here. Inhale, lengthening out arms, back, legs. And then step the right foot far back as you exhale. Plant the hands. Good. Left foot back to join. Inhale, strong plank here. And then exhale, halfway down, keep those elbows in. Lower the knees, the hips, the belly. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders. And then from there, lower, tuck the toes. Exhale, push away from the floor. Find your downward dog, inhaling here. And keeping your breath steady. So as always, option to rest and pause whenever you need. If you're tiring, if your wrists are uncomfortable, feel free to come onto your knees, drop into your child's pose. Listen to your own body and pay attention to your own intention. And if you're still in your down dog, then next time you exhale, let your knees soften. From there, step, walk or jump to the front of the mat, inhaling a halfway lift. And then folding over the legs as you exhale. Coming all the way up. Inhale, bring the hands high over the head. And then thumbs down to the chest as you exhale. Surya Namaskar, bend the knees, inhale, reaching into your Utkatasana. From there, folding forwards, exhale, Uttanasana. Halfway lift here, inhaling, shift the weight further forwards. And then Chaturanga as you exhale, step or jump back. From there, up dog or baby cobra, inhaling to lift the chest. And exhale, navel to the spine, push into the base of the first finger. Right leg high, inhale, lifting the leg in the air. And then bring the knee to the nose as you exhale. From there, stepping forwards, high lunge or warrior one. Inhale, fingers reach high. And then from there, exhale, hands down, step back, Chaturanga. Good, inhaling into your up dog or your cobra. And then exhaling through to your downward facing dog. Left leg high, inhale, lifting it up behind. And knee to the nose as you exhale. Stepping it forwards. Inhale, high lunge or warrior one. And then hands down, exhaling to your Chaturanga. Inhaling through to your up dog or your cobra. And then exhaling through to your downward facing dog. Pausing there for a few breaths or resting onto the knees if you need. Again, keeping those breaths broad, finding your breath really expanding through the ribs, taking up more space with each breath. And then next time you exhale, let the knees soften. From there, step, walk or jump to the front of the mat, inhaling your halfway lift. From there, folding over the legs as you exhale. Bending the knees, inhale into your chair pose. Good. And fold straight back down as you exhale. Halfway lift here. Inhale, lengthen arms back, maybe legs. Chaturanga, exhale, step or jump back. And then inhale your up dog or your cobra. And then finding your down dog as you exhale. From here, back over to plank, inhaling here. We're coming halfway down as we exhale, and then we're going to push back up from here. So inhale, push back up. Knees down if you need. And then take the knees off. Exhale, halfway down. Knees down if you need as you push back up. Inhale. Just two more. Exhale, halfway down. Keep those elbows in. Take the chest forwards. Inhale, push back up. One more. Exhale, halfway down. Keep the nose forwards. And inhale, push back up. From there, find your downward facing dog. Lengthening out through the sides of the waist. And then bring your knees out to the sides, toes together. Reaching down towards your wide knee child's pose. Letting the head drop down. As you rest in your child's pose here, really reach the fingers, actively walk the fingers forwards. Find your steady breath. And as you inhale, you're going to walk the right fingers further forwards, really reaching them out. And as you exhale, just soften and relax that effort. And then the left hand, so walking those left fingers as you inhale, and then relaxing the effort as you exhale. Doing that a few more times. Again, really working with the breath, breathing slowly and smoothly, taking up more space with the breath, confidently breathing broadly. And then as you're ready, gently bringing yourself back up, and we'll find a downward facing dog. So as you find your down dog here, we're going to bring the left foot into the center line of the mat. So you're just stepping that left foot in towards the right slightly, and then lifting your right leg in the air into your three-legged dog. Really plant and connect down into the hands. Make sure your hands are stable here. And then as you inhale, lift the left heel, reach the right heel to the ceiling. Exhale the left heel back down. And again, inhale, lift the left heel, keep that right heel lifting up. Exhale, lower that left heel down. Two more, inhale, lifting the heel. Keep your right heel lifted. Exhale, lower down, keep that down dog shape. Keep the arms connected, external rotation in the upper arms. Inhale, lift that left heel. And then exhale to lower it down. Stay here as you inhale, lift that right leg a little higher. And then as you exhale, bring the knee to the nose, shift the weight forwards. We're going to step forwards and find a high lunge. So keep that left foot far back as you bring your hands high into your high lunge. Stabilize here, squeeze the left glute. And we're going to exhale into a twist, right hand back. And inhale just to lift it back up. Good. And again, exhaling into a twist. And lifting back up as you inhale. Good. Two more times. Keep that right knee pointing forwards the whole time. So check your alignment here. Really reach through the fingers. Expand and broaden this bubble around yourself. Good, inhaling back up. This exhale is going to take you into a warrior two. So exhaling down into your warrior two, pausing there. As you pause in your warrior two, we need to turn the palms up. Feel like the upper arms externally rotate. And then imagine a line right through the center of both arms that comes out through the middle fingers. And that energetic line is expanding and lengthening further and further. Take your gaze beyond the right middle finger. Watching that line go far off into the distance. Good. And then from there, we're going to straighten into our front leg. Keep the legs nice and wide. We're going to come into a wide Trikonasana here. We're going to reach forwards with that right hand. Hinge down, let this right hip come in a little as you find your Trikonasana. So you're imagining a wall behind you and a wall in front of you. Back body against the wall behind you. And then feel the top hand sort of press into the wall in front of you. Good, maybe the gaze goes up to that top hand. Really plant down into the feet, grow the fingers longer. Staying exactly here as you inhale. And then as you exhale, look down towards your right toes, draw the navel to the spine. Soften into the front knee, inhale to lift up into your warrior two. So bend into that front knee. Good. And then from there, we're going to windmill the hands down either side of that front foot. So as you plant your hands down either side of your right foot, we're then going to bring the weight onto the outside of the left foot. And you're going to wiggle your right foot halfway down the mat. So your right foot is going to support you between the left foot and the left hand. And with that right foot down on the floor, we're lifting that right hand high. And then from here, options. So we're aiming to lift this foot off the floor and step it behind. So you're coming towards a sort of wild thing shape, lifting the chest open. And then we're going to step it back over and place it down into our side plank again. Option, if that feels too challenging today, bring the left knee down. And then from here, you're stepping that right foot out, lifting and expanding through the chest, and then stepping it over. Good, we're going to do it one more time, whichever version you're doing, lifting that foot, stepping it over behind, holding it here for 3, Squeeze the glutes, reach the fingers higher. And for 2. Good. And for 1. And then gently bringing that foot across again in front. And then we'll come into our plank. So planting your hands down. Finding a strong plank here. Taking an inhale. We're going to lower down for 5. Take the nose forwards. Keep the elbows in for 4. And for 3. Knees down if you need. For 2. And for 1. As you lower all the way down, just bring the hands under the head and let the head rest onto the hands. Just take a few breaths here. Catching the breath, imagining the breath again, moving from that center point somewhere near the solar plexus. Expanding proudly and confidently with each breath. Good, and then from there, bringing your arms down by your sides. We're going to lift the head and shoulders. Squeeze the glutes, point the toes. Let the fingers lift away from the floor and reach the fingers back behind you. Holding here for 3. Maybe the legs lift for 2. Good. And for 1. Get the shoulders further back, fingers further back. And then gently bring it down. Hands under the head. Let the head rest onto the hands. Breathing into the body. Expanding with each breath. Softening around your shape as you exhale. From there, bringing the palms onto the floor beside the ribs. Tuck the toes. I'm going to press into the hands to lift the front body away from the floor and then push back up into your downward facing dog. And as you find your down dog, bring the right foot slightly towards the center line as you lift your left foot in the air. So we're finding this 3-legged dog. Really ground into the hands, stabilize the arms. Inhale, lift the right heel. Keep the left heel high. Exhale, right heel reaches to the back of the mat. And again, inhale, lifting that right heel. And exhale, lowering it down, lengthening it down. And again, inhale, lift the right heel. Keep the left heel high. Exhale, lowering it down. 1 more, keep this down dog shape. Inhale, lift that right heel. Get that left heel high. Exhale, lower the right heel down. Staying here as you inhale, lift that left heel even higher. And then as you exhale, bring the knee to the nose, harder the weight forwards. And then step it forwards. We're coming into our high lunge here. So you're lifting up into your nice broad high lunge. Squeeze the right glutes, stabilize. And then we're exhaling into a twist. Right hand forwards, left hand back. From there, lifting back up, inhale, the hands lift up. Exhaling into your twist. Good. And inhaling to lift it back up. 2 more. Exhaling into a twist. Good. Lifting up as you inhale. Last one. Exhaling into a twist. And then from there, inhaling back up. You're going to come into your warrior 2 as you exhale this time. So softening down into your warrior 2. Reaching your arms forwards and back. Keep it broad. And again, turn the palms up. External rotation in the upper arms. Keep those lower ribs drawing in. Imagine that line goes through the center of the arms, out through the center of the middle finger. And feel that lengthen, expand and broaden. Good. Keeping your breath steady here. Front knee pointing in the same direction as that front foot. Good. And then from here, we're going to straighten that front leg and hinge towards our Trikonasana. So leaning into that left hand, feel the left hip crease move in as you tilt sideways, right hand up to the ceiling. And again, maybe the gaze up to that right hand. Lengthen through the fingers. A wall behind you, the whole body against that wall. A wall in front of you, your right hand is pressing into the wall in front. Good. So Breathe in here. Stay exactly as you are next time you inhale. And then as you exhale, take the gaze to the left toes, draw the navel to the spine. Inhaling, soften the front knee as you lift up. And then bend down into your warrior two. And then from here, we'll windmill the hands all the way down. So as you bring your hands down, we're going to plant the right hand. I'll turn around again. So we're planting that right hand down. And we're taking the left foot halfway down the mat. With the left foot halfway down the mat, we're lifting up into this extended sort of position of side plank. Left finger's reaching high. Good. Keeping the side of the waist lifted. And then from here, aiming to lift this left foot, placing it behind you, and lifting up into your sort of wild thing shape. And then from there, stepping it back over to come in front into your side plank. Option to have the back knee down, so the right knee might come down, toe points away. Stepping it over, lifting the hips, lifting the chest. Good, and then stepping it over again. One more, whichever version you're doing. Stepping that foot over, so it comes behind you, squeezing the glutes, lifting the chest, fingers lifting high for 3. Good, and for 2. And for 1. From there, stepping the foot over again, planting your hands, coming into your plank. So as you find your plank position, take a breath in. We're going to lower slowly for 5. Keep the elbows close for 3. Lower slowly for 2. All the way down for 1. And again, let the hands rest under the head. Let the head drop down. Breathing into the side of the body. Just checking in with the rhythm of the breath. Good. And then bring your arms down by your sides. The arms down by the sides, we're going to come into our Shalabhasana again. This time option, if you like, if you want to make it more challenging, feel free to reach the arms out in front. Again, really stretching through the fingers. Either way, the shoulders, the chest, the head lift, squeeze the glutes. Lift through the arms, lift through the legs. Holding yourself here for 3. Really reaching out, lengthening through the fingers and the toes for 2. And for 1, and then as you're ready, gently lower down, hands again under the head. This time maybe a little wiggle of the hips as you rest down. And then from there, bring your hands beside your ribs. Keep those elbows in, tuck the toes, pushing the front body up away from the floor. And then from there, pushing up to your downward facing dog. Walking out through your down dog. Good. And then we're going to lift the right leg in the air. Inhale to lift that right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose as you bring it forward. Step the foot forwards. Drop the back knee down. Lift the hands up over the head. Bring the palms together. We're going to bend the elbows, reaching the thumbs towards the back of the neck and lifting the chest, lifting the elbows up. So really opening into the front of the underarms. Option here to tuck the back toes and straighten into the back leg. Keep those elbows lifting high, holding it here. Lengthening through the front of the body. Keep engaging through that left glute. Try and lift the chest upwards as you reach the elbows upwards. Good. And then from there, releasing the hands down. Bring the back foot in slightly. And then straighten into both legs. You might end up with a little bend in that front knee, but we're aiming to have both legs more or less straight. Good. So pausing here. Breathing here, trying to square up the hips. So you might feel like you're drawing your right hip bone back a little as you lean forwards. If there's a lot of space in this right hamstring, you might choose to lift the right toes up towards the ceiling. Good. And then from here, just walking the weight forwards, you're going to lift your left foot in the air, reaching towards your standing split. Point your left toes, so you're really trying to reach your toes away from you. And then from here, we're just going to cross it down. So you're bending that right knee, bringing the left knee outside of that right ankle, and then lifting it back up again. Inhale, toes to the ceiling. Exhale, bend it down, knee towards the floor. Inhale, lift it up. Maybe just the fingertips on the floor here, maybe holding your ankle as you do this. Inhale, lifting and reaching up. One more. Exhale, bringing it all the way down. And we're going to stay down this time. So you're going to lower that shin down to the outside of the foot. As you sit down, you're going into your little Matsyendrasana, your little twisted position. So we've got that left knee pointing to the front, right foot crossed over, wrapping the left arm around, right hand behind you as you come into a twist here. As we pause here, just gently dropping that right sit bone down to the ground, looking beyond your right shoulder. Good, steady breaths here. Good. Breathing into the right side of the ribs as you twist. And then we're going to gently unravel. Keep your legs as they are. We're going to bring the arms the other way. So the right hand comes onto the inside of the right ankle. And we twist to look over the left shoulder. And then we're going to keep twisting. We're going to walk both hands towards the back of the mat as we lift the hips up. The right foot stays where it is. As we bring the hands down and turn around to the back of the mat. So as you're lifting the sit bones high, finding your down dog, facing the other way. And then lifting your left leg in the air. Inhale to lift it high. And then bring the knee to the nose as you exhale, shifting it forwards. And then step it forwards, drop the back knee down. We're lifting the hands high, palms of the hands together, thumbs towards the back of the neck. Squeezing the right glute as you lift the chest, lift the elbows. Good. And again, option here to tuck the back toes and straighten into the back leg. Keep the chest lifted, keep the elbows lifted, really opening into the front of the arms, or the armpits, squeezing those shoulders back and down. Keep drawing the navel up here, as well as lifting through the chest. Good. And then we'll release that knee down, release the hands down. As you bring the hands down either side of that front foot, we're going to set the back foot in slightly and then lean down over that front leg as we aim to straighten both legs. So again, working with the hips here, we might want to draw that left hip back a little. You might have a little bend in that front knee, but just working towards straightening it. If there's a lot of space in the hamstrings, you might lift the left toes to the ceiling. So just breathing steady here as you fold over that front leg. Good. Nice. So from here, we're going to walk the hands forwards. So I'll face this way for you. So this time, we're lifting that right foot up behind as you come towards your standing split and point the right toes towards the ceiling. And then from there, we're bending both knees. So the left knee bends, we're bringing the right knee to the outside of the left foot. And then we're lifting it back up again. Inhale, reach those toes high. Exhale, bend it down. Knee to the outside of the foot. Good. Inhale, lifting it back up. Two more. You might hold on to the ankle and bend down, keeping your weight balanced. Inhaling to lift it back up. Good, one more. So bending down as you bend down. We're going to bring it all the way down. So let that leg drop down. Sit down into your little twisted pose here. So we're wrapping the right arm around that left knee, twisting to look over your shoulder towards what would have started off as being the front of your mat. And pausing in this twist. So as you pause here, keeping the breath moving into the left side of your ribs. Good. And then we're going to twist the other way. So gently, gently keeping the legs where they are. Bringing the arms around. So your left hand comes on the inside of the left ankle. Right hand behind you. Twisting the other way. And then keep going in that direction. So you're going to walk your hands to the back of the mat. Keep your left foot where it is. And then step your right foot into your downward facing dog. You should be facing the way that you started facing on your mat. Good. Pausing here in your down dog, lengthening sit bones up to the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to come to sitting. So you might jump forwards, you might jump to sitting, you might just bring the knees down and bring the hips down. So whatever feels useful to come to the ground. And as you come down, we'll bring the feet out in front and find our bent knee Paschimottanasana. So we've got the knees bent, the toes lifted. We're going to hold on to the outside of the ankles or the shins or the feet. Lift the front body up towards the thighs. And then as you get there, just walk the sit bones back an inch or two. Good. And then folding over the legs. If your legs are straight, then engage the kneecaps. Keep those toes lifted. Keep encouraging the little toes back towards you and the little toe side of the foot back towards you. As you fold down here, keeping the breath moving. Breathing into the back of the body from that solar plexus area. Breathing to proudly and confidently take up the space that you're taking up. Good. Staying here for a few more breaths. As you're ready, gently lifting yourself up from here. You're going to bring your hands behind you. And then with the hands behind, bend your feet, bend your knees in, plant your feet a little bit apart. As you spread into the feet, we're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips nice and high. Good. And we're going to breathe with this. So inhale, lifting those hips high as you squeeze the bottom. As you exhale, we're going to remove the hips back between the arms, keep the bottom off the floor if you can. And then swing it forwards. Inhale, lifting the hips high. And then exhale, swinging it slowly with control backwards, keeping the hips lifted. And again, inhale, lifting the hips high. And exhale, slowly swinging it backwards. One more. Inhale, lifting the hips high. Holding it here for 3. Good, maybe the head's in line with the neck for 2. Good, lift the back body higher. And for 1. Good. And then slowly lowering it back. As you lower it back, keep the hips off the floor. Lift the right foot. Good, lower it down, lift the left foot. Lower it down, lift both feet. And lower it down and give the legs a wobble. Give the hands a little bit of a shake. Good. And then from there, come down all the way onto your back. So as you land down on your back, letting your back spread into the floor, let the knees be bent. Hands on the front of the body, so have the hands on the belly here. And let the feet be comfortable, so don't feel like they have to be tucked too far in. And from here, we're just going to find our little arch and flatten movement. So we're inhaling a little arch. And breathe into the hands in the belly. And then exhale, finding a flatten. Draw the lower ribs in as you flatten into the front of the body. Inhaling to arch. And breathe from the solar plexus. Imagine this bright sphere expanding from the solar plexus as you inhale. And then exhaling as you flatten, drawing the lower ribs in. A few more times with your breath. Each inhale, expanding that bright sunshine solar plexus. And exhaling to soften around the edges as you flatten out your arch. Good. And then from here we're going to pause the arch and flatten. We're going to find that movement with the hamstring getting involved as well. So bring your right leg, right knee to the chest, hold on to the back of the right leg. Inhaling to arch, let that right knee bend. Exhale to flatten, pushing the heel up to the ceiling. Inhaling, arching and bending. Exhale, flatten, lift that heel up and away. If there's a lot of space in the hamstrings, you might have the leg quite close to the body. Inhaling an arch. And exhaling, lengthening that heel up and away. So just depending on where your mobility is as to where your little bend and stretch happens. Good. So doing a couple more. Good. And then pausing in the extended position, wherever that is for you. And as you pause in the extended position, we're going to point the toes, stretching that foot away. And then inhale to arch, flex the foot, pull the toes towards you. And exhale, point the toes away. And again, inhale, pull the toes towards you. And exhale, pointing the toes away. Good. And then from there, bending that right knee in. We're going to cross that knee over the body. Keep the left leg bent. As you bring the right leg over the body, take the right arm out to the right side. Try and snuggle your shoulders back into the floor. So you might adjust your shoulders slightly. So you're trying to really snuggle those shoulders back down. And then from here, either holding onto this outside of the right thigh with the left hand, or if you can catch it, you're getting the hold of the outside of the right foot. And you're reaching your right foot out to the left side. And breathing here. Either way, keep that right shoulder down on the floor. If you've got a lot of space, you might choose to bend that left knee in further and catch that left foot with the right hand whilst you've got your right foot out with your left hand. So there's all versions of knot tying and extension that can happen. But just do whatever feels more useful for you today. And whatever position you're in, breathing into the whole of the body from that central point. Let the eyes close down. Imagining that bright yellow sphere expanding from the solar plexus with each breath in. And just letting yourself soften gently around the edges as you exhale. Good, and then as you're ready, gently releasing this position, bringing yourself back to the center, bringing the back into a neutral place, maybe taking a little rock side to side on the back. And then as you're ready, planting your feet down, palms of the hands onto the belly, and just finding a couple of arch and flattens here. Inhaling to let that back arch. Exhaling to flatten the back into the floor. Really let the belly expand as you inhale, tilting the pelvis anteriorly. And exhale, tilting the pelvis posteriorly. Good. One or two more, just nice and slow in the movement. And then as you're ready, we're going to pause that movement. Let the right foot plant down, we're holding onto the back of the left leg. So the hands hold onto the back of the left thigh. And we're finding that arch and flatten, so we're inhaling a little arch as we bend the knee. And then exhale to flatten and lift the heel up towards the ceiling. Good. Inhale, a little arch as you bend the knee. And exhale, flattening, push that heel up away from you. Moving with your breath, nice and slow, just explore the range of movement that's available in your hips and in your hamstring. Again, if there's a lot of space here, your arch and flatten your bend might be the leg quite close to the body, and you're reaching that heel up and away. So wherever's feeling good for you. Doing a couple more. And then as you're ready, we're going to hold it in that extended position. As we hold it in the extended position, we're going to point the toes up and away. Good. And then inhale, flexing the foot, the toes come towards you. Exhale, point the toes up and away. And again, inhale, flexing the foot. And exhale, pointing the toes, stretching those toes away. Good. And then from there, we're going to let that knee bend. As we bend, we're going to come into our twist. So bring your right hand onto the outside of the left knee, left arm out to the side as we come into our twist. And as you come into your twist, again, snuggle the shoulders. So you might need to adjust your position slightly. Baba, come this way. And as you come into your twist, really snuggling those shoulders down. And you might bring your right hand onto the outside of that left knee. Or you might take the right hand onto the outside of the left foot and reach that foot out away. And again, you've got the option of taking the right knee further back, catching your right foot with your left hand. So whatever feels useful here, whatever version of tying yourself in a knot feels comfortable today. And then we're going to stay here, so let yourself stay breathing from the solar plexus, expanding the breath. Breathing with control. One more breath here. And then as you're ready, gently bringing it back through center. So as we come through center, this time bringing the knees in, toes together, and let the knees circle wide and back in. Good. And then circle in the other direction. Just moving those legs around comfortably and spaciously. Good. And then planting your feet down. You're going to stretch your feet to the bottom of the mat, reach your arms up over your head, lengthening through the fingers, through the toes, reaching it out. Breathing to take up more space. And then reach the arms out a little and reach the feet out a little, like you're a star shape. Reach the fingers, reach the toes. Good. And then let that relax. You might bring the arms down by the sides, maybe keep the feet where they are. Maybe the hands come onto the body if you need a little jumper or blanket over yourself. Or if you want something over your eyes, then letting yourself do so. So that we can rest down into our final resting pose, our Shavasana. As you find yourself comfortable and rested for your Shavasana, letting your eyes close down and feeling your whole body soften and surrender. As your whole body relaxes back. Feel your feet and your toes relax. Feel your ankles and your calves relax. Feel your knees and your thighs relax. Feel your hips and your back relax. Feel your belly and your chest moving easily with your breath. And feel your hands and your arms relax. Feel your shoulders and your neck relax. And feel your face relax. Eyes soften back into your eye sockets. And bring your attention to your breath, allowing your breath to move a little deeper. Starting to find some movement in your fingers and your toes. Maybe moving the face, or shrugging the shoulders, maybe stretching through the arms and the legs. Maybe bending the knees in toward the chest and taking a little rock side to side. As you're ready, you're going to ease yourself over onto one side. Letting your eyes stay closed or letting them come to a soft focus as you gently bring yourself up to a comfortable seat and let the palms of the hands come together. Let the thumbs point inward toward the chest. And just take a moment to notice. Just acknowledging the sensations that you're aware of and acknowledging your breath. Breathing broadly and proudly with confidence, taking up space. And I thank you kindly. Namaste. Thank you for
sharing your practice. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I hope that you're well. Any questions, any queries, please do not hesitate to get in touch. Okay, bye.